I think this is part 6 of our lesson on rational functions and asymptotes, although I've kind of lost track. So all I know is it's been a very long lesson so far, and we've had a lot of videos. So this is question number 5. It says, for the functions a of x equals x over x plus 3 and b of x equals x minus 2 over x plus 1, determine the asymptotes of the function y equals a divided by b of x. Okay, well, for these questions, before I can do the asymptotes, I need to get a simplified function for a divided by b of x. So we're going to start with that. So I'm going to say y equals, now I have a choice. I can do a of x divided by b of x as a fraction, or I can do a of x divided by b of x side by side. Since these are already fractions, I think I'm going to write them side by side just to make it a little easier. So y equals a of x divided by b of x. So I'm going to put in a of x, which is x over x plus 3. And then divided by b of x, which is x minus 2 over x plus 1. Now, when you are dividing with fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So I leave the first fraction alone, and then I flip the second fraction over and change the question to multiplication. Okay, so this is going to give me x times x plus 1 divided by x plus 3 x minus 2. Okay, is there anything there that reduces? Unfortunately not. None of my brackets match. Do I need to multiply this out? Well, if it was only asking for vertical asymptotes, I wouldn't need to multiply it out because having it in factored form is actually really helpful for vertical asymptotes. But if I need to find the horizontal or oblique, I need to be able to do some division, which means I really need to multiply this out. So I'm going to multiply the top. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. In the denominator, x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. I need to take that up to the top, and we'll finish this off. I have x squared plus x divided by x squared plus negative 2 plus 3 is 1x. You don't have to write the 1, minus 6. Okay. So there are 3 types of asymptotes, but only 2 types of calculations that we need to do. So up first, we need to find our vertical asymptotes. And we get our vertical asymptotes by setting the denominator equal to 0. So let's slide it over and do it here. So I'm going to write vertical asymptotes. You'll notice I didn't write the word vertical. I was being lazy. Okay, so for my vertical asymptotes, the denominator is 0. I could do x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0, but then I would have to factor it. So it actually is easier for us to do the x plus 3 x minus 2 and set that equal to 0. Right? As long as it's the denominator, it doesn't matter if it came from the last step or not. So what makes that 0? Well, if x plus 3 is 0, I'm going to get x equals negative 3. And if x minus 2 is 0, I'm going to get x equals positive 2. So I have vertical asymptotes at negative 3 and positive 2. Okay, for the horizontal and oblique, it's the same calculation. So I'm going to write horizontal or oblique asymptote. And there will only ever be one. So I'm not going to write asymptotes, just asymptote. My marker is dying here, so we'll try another one. So I want to, for this, divide the denominator into the numerator. And I will just check. If I take a look at these, I will get an oblique asymptote if the degree of the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Is the degree of the numerator bigger than the denominator? No, they're the same. So that means it's not oblique. It's going to be horizontal. So we could actually write out the long division for this, but I think we might be able to figure it out just looking at it. How many times does x squared go into x squared? It goes 1 time. So this is just going to be y equals 1. And I'm going to write down that it is horizontal. Okay, so we had vertical asymptote at -3 and at 2, and we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. If you wanted to write a statement, you could do that, but we're trying to finish up this lesson, so I think we're just going to jump to the next question. So our next question here says, for the function c of x and d of x, determine the asymptotes of the function y equals c plus d of x. Okay, so we're doing c of x plus d of x. So I am going to replace c of x with 4x squared divided by 2x minus 1. And then I'm going to replace d of x with 3 over x plus 2. Now, when you are adding two fractions together, they need to have a common denominator. Unfortunately, these do not have a common denominator. The easiest way to get a common denominator is to multiply your two denominators together. Sometimes we will factor first and see if we can find something they have in common, but neither of these two denominators factor. So that means the first fraction, in order to get our new denominator, we had to multiply by x plus 2. And whatever you do to the denominator, you also have to do to the numerator. So we're going to multiply 4x squared by x plus 2. Plus. All right, for my second fraction, I had an x plus 2 in the denominator. What we're missing is the 2x minus 1. So I am going to multiply the denominator by 2x minus 1. And whatever you do to the denominator, you need to do to the numerator. So I'm going to get 3 times 2x plus 1. That's right, 2x minus 1. Okay, from here, you are not allowed to reduce the x plus 2's or the 2x minus 1's because we have addition here. This is not factored. And this really was just my middle step before I multiply it out. So I'm going to expand my numerator. So I'm going to get 4x cubed plus 8x squared plus 6x minus 3. Should I multiply out the denominator? If I was only doing vertical asymptotes, I would not. But because we're doing horizontal and oblique, I am going to. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And negative 1 times 2 is, negative 2. Not plus. I don't know what happened there. Okay, collect your like terms. So I have 4x cubed plus 8x squared plus 6x minus 3 over 2x squared. Now 4x take away 1x is 3x. Take away 2. And I think that's it for simplifying the expression. And then from here, I just need to do my asymptotes. So I didn't have a lot of luck with those other colors. They're kind of drying up. So we're going to try another one. We'll try pink. So if I want my vertical asymptotes, we want to look at what makes the denominator 0. I could use this denominator, but it needs to be factored anyways, so it makes more sense to use the one that was factored. So I want to look at what makes 2x minus 1 times x plus 2 equal 0. So either 2x minus 1 equals 0, so 2x equals 1, so x is a half, or x plus 2 equals 0, which means x equals negative 2. All right, those are my vertical asymptotes. We have 2 of them. All right, up next, we have our horizontal and oblique asymptote. So before I even try to calculate, I'm going to see if I can figure out what kind it's going to be. The degree on the top is bigger than the degree on the bottom. So that means it's going to be oblique, which means I need to do the division. If it was going to be horizontal, you can get away without doing the division if you just sort of do it in your head. But when it's oblique, you don't really have a choice. So for this part, if I already know it's going to be oblique, I could just write oblique. Why are none of my markers working today? Some of them are old. Okay, this one is dying too. I'm going to just have to make a pile of all the ones I need to get rid of. I'll just keep grabbing them. We find one that works here. All right, so I want to know how many times does 2x squared? This is not working out here. Plus 3x. That's too light. I don't think that one's going to work. 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. How many times does that go into 4x cubed plus 8x squared plus 6x minus 3? I give up on these markers. I'm just going to use the blue one. Okay, so how do I turn... Ooh, this one's purple. How do I turn a 2x squared into a 4x cubed? I need to multiply by 2 and an x. So that's going to give me 4x cubed and then plus 6x squared and then minus 4x. If I subtract, 4 take away 4 is 0. 8 take away 6 is 2x squared. 6 take away negative 4 is positive 10x. And then negative 3 take away nothing is negative 3. How do I turn a 2x squared into a 2x squared? I just multiply by 1. So I get 2x squared plus 3x. Take away 2. 2 take away 2 is 0. 10 take away 3 is 7. And negative 3 take away negative 2 is negative 1. This is my remainder. I can't put an x squared into an x, so I can't go any further. So my asymptote actually comes from this. So it is going to be y equals 2x plus 1. And that is, as we already labeled, oblique. Okay, that was a very long lesson with a lot of parts today. At least the first one was a little bit shorter. I apologize that there was so much to do today. There is asymptote practice down here at the bottom for you to work on, and you might want to maybe save that for tomorrow's homework and study for your test instead. Okay, I will see you in class tomorrow.